Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when
All right, as always, Dolphins number one, baby!
So fins up to all you guys. Thank you for doing
I just want everybody to remember, we may not always agree on everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we do agree on, is we are all Dolphin fans. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and joining me, as always, tonight, the one and only Dolphin Thirsty, Rob Mosley. How's it going, Rob?
Great. Another nice day here in South Florida. Got a lot of stuff done, so that's good. My son came home from Gainesville, Florida, so you can see I'm kicked out of his room, and I'm out in the family room. But life is great. Check out dolphinthirsty.com. Find me here on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, trying to get to 500. Find Dolphins Thirsty here on YouTube. I got a show 10 a.m. tomorrow, and Steve and I will have a show Friday morning pregame show featuring the Jets and the Dolphins game on Black Friday at 10 a.m. So everything's great, Steve. So thank you for asking.
Okay, how's everything going on at dolphinthirsty.com, the blog that you have?
Oh, great, man. Fun. I got stuff up, news from today. I did this morning when I first woke up. Have not covered the Darrellton Evans news that you're going to touch on here in a few minutes because I was out and about doing stuff like that today and all the other moves that you're going to talk about. So I won't waste the whole basket of what we're going to talk about. So that I got to get to for tomorrow's blog and be looking good. Looking forward to Hard Knocks tonight. So it should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And thanks everyone for joining in the chat there. Appreciate you all. Make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed or if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and also share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And remember, we may not always agree everything Dolphins, but there is one thing we can agree on. We are all Dolphins.
Very well said, as always.
So with that, Rob, we are back again here on Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and Dolphins played the Las Vegas Raiders last week, and we won 20-13. Not the explosive game that I thought we were going to have on offense, but our defense dominated the Las Vegas Raiders. And our offense is going through some hard knocks, just like the show that's going to be on tonight, starting tonight.
But the funny thing is, if you just looked at the stats and not the scoreboard, you would see, man, they put up 422 yards of offense, which is pretty productive. It's just you can't turn the ball over 3 times and you can't stall in the red zone, which we had been overall. We've been good in the red zone this year, so I'm not going to hit the panic button. You're going to have games like that. But you're right. As far as points, the past couple of games, we've only gotten 2 offensive touchdowns. That has definitely got to improve moving ahead. But if you would have just told me, hey, we got 422 yards of offense, I would have been like, oh, wow, we kicked butt again. But for some reason, those yards didn't turn out to points.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. But before we get to that, I also wanted to bring up that we have a sponsor now for Fins Talk Sports Network. And it is Caneswear. And if you want to get any kind of helmets, jerseys, hats, or things of that nature, they're located down in South Florida. And I have the address here, if I can find it now. Here it is. The address is 2655 South University Drive, and that's in Davie, Florida. So if you're local, go ahead down to Caneswear and support that local company that's down there in South Florida. And also,
I put the address up there for you guys. If you didn't copy that real quick, it's on the bottom of the screen. Sorry, Steve, I forgot to have that.
No problem. Thank you, Rob.
Their address is on the bottom now.
Yep, and like I said, you can buy all your gear there. And also, if you're out of town or you don't live in the locally in the Florida area, you can definitely go to caneswear.com and you can make all your purchases there. So show these folks some love over there and support them. And
Yeah.
you're
And
you're
I do
also
believe if they check out their website, they are running Black Friday specials today
Mhm.
and tomorrow and Friday. So take advantage of that. Get big discounts if you use their promo codes they're giving out for Black Friday. It's right there on their
Absolutely.
homepage. So if you go to Caneswear, you will see and you get like certain dollars off the different level of purchases you make, depending on the promo code.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Rob. And
Yeah.
also, if you want to support the Fins Talk Sports Network channel, we do accept super chats now. If you're so inclined to support the channel that way, you can do so, and we'd appreciate that. But all right, so let's get onto the show here, Rob. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the offense since you did bring up a few things that I wanted to touch on. And this is one of the things I wanted to touch on was since week 7, the Miami Dolphins, they've averaged 20.5 points per game. They've been averaging 5.5 yards per play, way down, and 3.9 yards per carry rushing the ball. And they've managed 19 first downs per game, but they've only converted 31% of their third downs. So, and not only that, they've had 7 turnovers.
Yeah,
7.
no, the turnovers are definitely the ugly aspect they got to get rid of for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and that's what I want to touch on is they since week 7, as you can see, they've regressed. They've regressed. Where we were all high and mighty and jumping up and down and everything, and they were scoring 30 and 40 and 70 points. And that's what we expect. That's what we expect,
Right.
or that's what we were expecting, right? Well,
We
look,
got spoiled for sure.
we got spoiled for sure. So I'm happy where Miami is right now, to be honest with you. I'm not happy with the way the offense has been playing, but I am happy that we are 7-3. I mean, we're 7-3, and we're in first place in the AFC division, right? In the AF Division South. So we got to be happy about that as Dolphin fans. That's the first time this has happened in how long, Rob?
No, a long time, man. So sorry, I
So
don't have it right in front of me, but yeah, it's been.
yeah,
Wait, I mean, 2001 is the last time we've been up to this level. So,
yeah. So there you go. So we got to be happy about that.
but last
But
year we were 8-3, so it was not
yeah,
to celebrate.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were. That's
So
my
I
point
forgot
too.
about last year, but before the last year we were, So
Yeah,
that's why I don't want to count my chickens yet. So
yeah, absolutely. We were 8-3 last year, but anyway, we're 7-3 right now. We're sitting pretty good. We're in the top, top of the cream of the crop there, right? And number 1 in our division. But and I've talked about this before. A lot of teams have figured this team out, the offense. I'm not talking about the defense right now. They have figured this offense out. They've got the blueprint. And playoff caliber teams, which Las Vegas Raiders, in my opinion, were not a playoff caliber defense. But they figured out the Miami Dolphins offense and they played pretty good against it. Tyreek got his yards. Mostert, he ran. He had a lot of carries because of the Achan injury, so he got a lot of his carries, and there was nobody else besides Ahmed, and he got hurt during some point during the game. In fact,
right,
Ahmed is on injured reserve right now, so we won't see
yeah,
him for another 4 weeks.
and he says it's season ending, so that's not
Oh,
good.
there you go. So we were not going to see him at all. So the bottom line is teams have figured this out. They got the blueprint. But the key is in order to stop this defense, you have to have the personnel on defense to stop them, right? You have to have a playoff caliber, top 10 defense, and I don't mean just in passing, but all around top 10 defense to
Right.
stop Miami's offense. And we're getting to that point now, starting with the Jets, although Jets have regressed, their defense has regressed.
Well,
But
the Jets didn't look good, but I don't know if they regressed or they just had one bad game against the Bills and the Raiders.
their defense has regressed a little bit. It has
Yeah.
regressed a little bit, and I'll point that out here in a second. But the bottom line is we're starting. It's the end of November. The last game in November is coming up in Friday. Is coming up Friday, Black Friday against the Jets
Right.
in MetLife Stadium. The defense is still, it's regressed a little bit, but it's still a dang good defense. And coming up in December, we're getting to that point in December where, as I said before on our last show, we got to get in playoff mode. We got to fix these turnovers. We got to get it. We've got to change our offensive scheme, because if you have the personnel and you have the top 10 defense, playoff caliber defenses, this is what we're going to see with this offense. Mike McDaniel has to figure out a way to fix this, and he needs to fix it quick. And another thing that I want to point out is Tyreek had 10 targets. 10 targets. Now he had a good game, right? He had 147 yards, but he was targeted 10 times, right? Teams are starting to figure that out. As I said, the Raiders didn't have the personnel, but the Patriots did when they were playing the first time. Christian Gonzalez had stopped Tyreek cold. So
Right.
what if Tyreek gets hurt? So that's the thing. Miami's going to have to figure out a way to adjust if Tyreek was to go down, or if teams are, get him totally out of the game.
Well, I think sometimes when a player goes, because the one drive that Tyreek Hill was out, the Dolphins moved the ball very well down the field, hitting Waddle on a few drives, and that's a play Achman ends up taking into the end zone on that drive. So they move the ball, and maybe they are, like I said, maybe things move. He doesn't feel like he has to look at one guy going down the field and whatever. So we actually moved the ball well. At least that's just one drive. We're much better with Tyreek, obviously, but I just wanted to point that out. And my son and I go, man, we're actually moving the ball better all day when we didn't even have him in the lineup when he hit Waddle a whole bunch on that drive. So, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But and Hunter pointed this out. When Tyreek was out, it was all Waddle.
Yes.
So so now that Tyreek is out, now we're gonna target Waddle, right? So again, teams are gonna be, they're gonna be zeroing in on that. They're going to be zeroing in on Waddle if Tyreek goes down, or Tyreek is getting, he's getting blanketed and he's getting covered and they're not able to get him the ball. But Tua did spread that ball around when Tyreek wasn't in there. So, can they do that again? Can they continue to do that if defensive have caught on to Tyreek being his first preference as a receiver? I don't know. We'll see going down the road, but they've definitely got to fix this offense. And like I said, the teams have got blueprints. I'm not worried about the Commanders. I'm not even so worried about the Jets this game as far as stopping this offense. I don't think they have the personnel to stop our offense. I really don't. But we'll see. All I know, Rob, is we're 7-3 right now, and we're looking pretty good. And we need to fix the offense, and the defense. The defense is playing outstanding. The defense is trending. What's your take on the defense, Rob? You were in fact, you were at the game last week.
Yes, I was at the game, and easy to say, no rocket science. Jalen Ramsey is a huge difference maker on this defense. He just almost shuts down one side of the field, and it makes the whole other defense be able to control other areas. He is a difference maker. You can tell he has that winning mentality, too, that you just want in that player, which some of our Dolphins didn't have because we've never run that much. So he just brings that championship caliber like Tyreek does to the offense, and they bring that hunger, and they always wanting to make plays. Ramsey put his body on the line 2 times, diving all out to get those balls. That's what I want to see from my players. 2 times he just basically gave up his body, hit the ground just to catch the football. To me, it is just a beautiful thing having Ramsey. He is up there among the best defensive backs. I know we're going to go against one this week in Sauce Gardner, yet gets a lot of kudos as well. But Ramsey's up there amongst the best defensive backs in the league. So I think that's a big turning point in the defense. Jalen Phillips and Chubb are starting to dial up a little more pressure. Chubb this game didn't do as much as he had in the previous few weeks leading up, but Phillips took over and had 2 sacks and had an interception. The pressure against the Raiders, though, I thought we would get a little more pressure against the Raiders. There were some plays that we gave them a little too much. But overall, it seems like we're generating plays from the defense that we weren't earlier in the year. And I think the difference is our coverage has gotten better. Our defensive backs are healthy. And it gives those guys just that split second longer to get to the quarterback and make that play. And before I forget, I'm going to give kudos to Kristen Wilkins. That man ran all the way downfield to make a tackle on a receiver when he was like, Renfro was weaving in and out. I'm like, is anyone going to tackle this man? And out of nowhere, Kristen Wilkins comes running from behind and tackles. So when you see defensive tackles giving that all-out effort, I think a little special kudos has to go to them. Let me give a couple good evenings. Hunter, if I didn't get you, big fins up to you, Hunter, and the Back It Up Fins podcast. Good evening to you as well, sir. So anyway, so that's where I think Jalen Ramsey has been spearheading this improvement in the defense because it really opens up the secondary to so many options, and it's a lot of fun out there. You no longer have Cater Kohu out there all on an island by himself. He's doing what he does best, playing in the slot, playing in the middle of the field, coming up, hitting people once they catch those short passes. You're not going to have Kehu on Diggs. God forbid everyone stays healthy. Just hope everyone stays healthy. And then you don't have to have Cater Kohu covering Diggs one-on-one, getting eaten for lunch all day long. So I think things like that are ingredients for getting the defense better for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. And thank you, Eric, for joining us tonight. Appreciate you, brother. And going back to Jalen Ramsey, because you mentioned how Jalen Ramsey has been playing, and yes, he definitely adds another dynamic to this defense for the good. I mean, he's had 16 targets, and they've only caught 4 receptions off him. Not that they throw to his side a lot.
No.
But for only 41 yards, he's got 3 interceptions. And what is this, his 3rd game?
Yep.
So he's had 2 interceptions last week and an interception in his first day back.
Yeah.
When they played against the Patriots.
Yeah.
And his PFF grade is 90 overall, which is elite.
Right.
So he's been playing elite for 3 games. He's been playing elite.
No, he is. I mean, he's so much fun to watch play defense because where I was sitting in section 305 in the 305, you could see the whole field because they were upper deck end zone seats. The only one I figured it was worthwhile for the price that was going on game day when I told you the night before I made a last minute decision to go do the game, and the prices were a little bit high, but it's okay. I sat in the 305, I like to say, and you can see the whole field. And I just looked at Ramsey sometimes. Man, he's all out on every play, even if it's not thrown to his side. He's running over there just in case someone breaks something. He's ready to make a tackle. I love seeing that. I hope that winning football rubs off on him. Kristen Wilkins has already been doing it for a few years. It's good to see guys that give that. They don't just give up because a play's not right at them. They run all the time and they make plays, So I like that a lot.
Yeah, I do too. And speaking of some of the defensive players, let me give you some of their PFF grades. Jalen Ramsey, of course, we just said he was 90 overall grade. So that's elite level. Surprisingly enough, this game, Jerome Baker had an 83 overall grade, which is really good. So he had a really good game. He's been kind of quiet this year, but he's doing his job, And then Jalen Phillips, Surprisingly, I thought he would have a higher grade, but his grade was 78.2,
Oh wow.
which
Yeah, I thought
which is good, which is good,
it's
which is a
good,
good
but
thing.
yeah, I thought it would be like really high, like you said, like
Yeah,
in the
because he had
game.
a couple good pressures. He had the interception. He had 2 sacks. So I don't know, but they don't just grade it on those specific areas. It's a lot more intricate than that. And we went over that one time in show a couple of weeks back. And also Adam Van Ginkel. Adam Van Ginkel had a good game. He played good. His overall grade was 77. So
Yeah,
he played really well. And let's
I
let's
like
go.
Van Ginkel.
Yeah, I do too. Now let's go back to the offense really quick too. I'll give you some of their grades. The highest overall grade for the offense, of course, was Tyreek Hill. He had a 91, so he was playing at elite level. Connor Williams had a 78, playing good, really good. And Austin Jackson had a grade of 75, so he was playing good too. Now I went back and I looked at a lot of these PFF grades and I know we've been harping on the
What was
offensive line.
Eichenberg? I'm sorry, I missed Eichenberg's.
No, Eichenberg I didn't have.
Oh, okay.
But I did, like I said, I did check. I went back and checked overall PFF grades for our offensive line.
Right.
I specifically do that every week, and I go back and Eichenberg and Lester Cotton. Actually, Eichenberg has improved a little bit. He was down there like about 45 overall grade. He is now 64.
Okay.
So,
Liam Eichenberg was 65.9.
okay, there you go. So he's averaging overall. He's averaging overall grade is 64, but he had a 60. So he's staying at about 65 level, which is a backup level. That's a backup level. So he's playing as a decent backup, serviceable backup. All the rest of the guys, what's his name? Alston Jackson is like a 68, 69.
Right.
Connor Williams is right there above 70, if I remember correctly, up a little like mid 70s. Who else is on there? Robert Hunt, I didn't check his. He's the only one I didn't check. But he's usually right up there about 70 as well.
Yep.
And Lester Cotton he was at like 43. Yep. So he's our weak link now, as opposed to Liam Eichenberg.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely got to upgrade at guard next year, I think.
Well, Julian Hill was very low at tight end.
Yeah, Julian Hill wasn't very good either. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm looking at. I seen the top 5 on the Dolphins and the bottom 5 for the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not pretty.
Well, there you go. But anyway, let me go to some of these injuries too, real quick, since I know we're kind of jumping around here, but I think this is important. Then we go back to the injuries.
Hunter says that he loves Jerome Baker. He's been with us for years. Just wish he was more consistent.
Yeah, he's a little inconsistent, but when he plays, he's solid. When he plays, he's a solid.
He actually had the second highest defensive rating for the Dolphins in the Raiders game, right behind Ramsey. So they liked him this week.
There you go. Let me see. I want to get to this injury report. I think I sent you this injury report, Rob, but I think I have it here as well.
Yeah, you did. I didn't really look at it much because I was standing at home.
Okay, here it is. I got it. So this is for Tuesday, right? Rob Jones did not participate. Durham Smythe did not participate. So possibility we may be without him this week. Now, these are the guys that were limited in the practice today. It was Devon Achane, Taron Armstead, not surprising, Chase Claypool, Lester Cotton, Tyreek Hill with his hand, Rob Hunt, Alec Ingold, again, he's been battling a foot and ankle injury.
Him and Mozart every week are
Yeah,
always.
Mostert. Yeah, Mostert was limited as well, ankle and knee. Austin Jackson, oblique. He was limited. And now Braxton Berrios, which is good news, he was at full participant today.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's good.
so we might get him back this game as well. He's probably going to play.
While you're speaking of receiver, can I bring up someone real quick?
Sure.
Cedric Wilson, I don't care about his ratings, whatever, but the past couple of weeks, he's made some good catches for us, and he's starting to play a little bit better, actually, at least living up to that contract a little bit. So I'm happy to see him get some. I mean, I'm not saying he's great or anything, but he's made some good grabs. So
No. I'm with you on that. I don't think he's playing up to his contract yet, but he's made some okay plays, and he made a touchdown in the Kansas City game.
Right.
So yeah, and he's playing okay on special teams as well. He's helped out there. So he's a versatile player, he's a utility type player, and he plays on this little bit of special teams, and he comes in spots. So yeah, is he playing? Like I said, is he playing up to his contract? No, he was he was going to be a starter. So
yeah, I know. Then we got Tyreek. So I mean,
then we got Tyreek. So that went out the window. But let me go with the Jets here. The Jets injury report. They've got a lot of injuries as well. Did not participate. Micah Becton, I think he might even be on injured reserve, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
Well, I know he's not playing this week. I don't know.
Yes, right. Michael Carter, the defensive back, hamstring. He did not participate. Sam Aquavon, ex-Dolphin. He's dealing with a hip injury. He did not participate. Now, these are the folks that were limited for the Jets. Tony Adams, defensive back. John Franklin Myers, defensive lineman. Jermaine Johnson, linebacker. Chaz Surratt, linebacker, limited. Quincy Williams, linebacker. He was limited. And Garrett Wilson with an elbow was also limited today. Offensive lineman, Dwayne Brown, he was full participant. Jeremy Ruckett, tight end, and Kenny Yeboah was also full. So they are dealing with some injuries as well. So
what's your take on the benching of Zach Wilson? Favors the Dolphins or hurts them? Would you rather just face Zach Wilson, or would you rather face this guy because he's not as mobile? Because I know you pointed out the fact that Zach Wilson can scramble and make yards that way. So
who would I like to face?
Yeah.
I'd rather face I wouldn't want to face Zach Wilson because he is mobile and he has been making some plays. Now, I don't know what happened with him, the last few games, but look, the Jets O-line really isn't that good. They're really not that good. So he's been having to run, for his life a little bit. But yeah, I think I'd rather face the quarterback. What's his name? Boyle, I think.
Yeah, Boyle. He's like a journeyman. He said, even his college numbers, when my son told me, he had more interceptions in college than he had touchdowns. But yeah, here he is. Hey, more power to him. The man's under an NFL contract. So kudos to him for working the system the best he could. Still be in the NFL. Don't know how he does it, but that's great. Let me get Steve, before you move on, let me get some comments real quick. Back it up, Ben Montez says he's been 9-1 in his picks so far. So he's only missed one game that he thought.
Okay.
And then he had them splitting with the Jets and originally with A-Rod at QB. Now, I don't know if this backup to the backup, we should take this game. Mid-40s and sunny game time. So, yeah, the weather won't be that big of a factor. 40s is cool, but not freezing, so we're good. Eric Rivera asked a question. I don't think so. Now, whether you say, should we pick up Fournette? Yeah, I guess maybe we could debate that. But now, they had their opportunity this week, but instead of plucking him from the practice squad, they signed Darrellton Evans, who Steve and I looked up a little bit. He was a third-round pick by the Tennessee Titans back in 2020. He's actually played a little ball this year, but never played more than 5 games in a season. So, you got that. So, but rather, I don't know about should, but is it a possibility, Eric, that they could look at Leonard Fournette because he's experienced and can come in and contribute? Maybe so. That's something I wouldn't rule out. But obviously, the Dolphins didn't consider it this week. they could have plucked him instead of signing this guy to the practice squad, because we are very thin now of Ahmed going out for the season. So we actually going to have room on the running back spot.
Yeah, Hunter makes a good point.
Yeah.
He's only mobile because he can't make throws. Okay. I hear you, Hunter. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a
that
good
is. And
I like that. Hey guys, in the chat, I appreciate you for joining us tonight. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new in the channel or you're listening and you're not in the chat and you're new, please subscribe if you like the content. And share with your family, your friends, families, and neighbors. And just want to mention one more time, we do have super chats there if you guys are interested in donating and helping out the Fins Talk Sports Network and donate to some of the keeping on the lights anyway. But yeah. That was a good one. And then what Eric Rivera say? He said, we have to make this run with next 3 opponents and Bills scheduled. We can clinch early. Yeah, man, we got to win. Rob has made mention of this many times. We go ahead, Rob. You tell them what you.
Honestly, we got to win the AFC East. It's the best, easiest route to the playoffs. The most for sure, 100%. If you win your division, even in some of these divisions over the years where your teams had losing records, winning the division, win your division, you're in. You get a home playoff game, and it's one step closer to to where you all want to get. If you get that one home playoff game, get that monkey off our back of not winning a playoff game at home. Beautiful thing. There is no reason. It would be, to me, it's almost an epic failure of the season at this point if we fall off and don't win the division. You got a 2-game lead in the loss column, 1.5 games like they do in baseball, where they have half games, you have all the different night games and this and that. But so we're basically a game and a half ahead of them, but more importantly, 2 less in the loss column because they can't get that game back and make it up. They've already lost that game. Now, we could lose up once we play the extra game, we could end up, losing our extra game. But very important. We win, then we don't even have to worry about what Buffalo does. But them losing definitely helps us. I'm not going to complain. But we don't even have to worry about them. If we just go handle our business against the Jets this week, if the Bills go and beat the Eagles, I can get worried that the Bills are getting hot, of course. But at least they're not gaining ground on us. So if we just go out there, take control of our own business, everything else should work out. And like I said, to me, it's a horrible failure at this point if we're not the AFC East champs at the very least. I'd be disappointed. Would I root if we get into the playoffs as a wild card? Of course. But to me, it'd be a disappointment having to back into the playoffs at this point. Go take control, be the beast of the East, and that's how I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Rob, for sure. Absolutely. We are in control of our own destiny right now.
I love it.
So let's talk a little bit about the defenses and the offenses that we're going to be facing this week in MetLife Stadium against the New York Jets. Let me start with the defense first. The Jets defense is ranked 11th. Miami Dolphins defense is ranked 12th, but they continue to trend up. Points per game, the Jets are allowing 20 points per game. Miami's defense we have improved a little bit. They're averaging 23 points against our defense. Rushing yardage on Jets defense, they're allowing 137, and Miami's allowing 99, only 99 yards rushing. Passing yardage, the Jets are allowing 178. They're rather strong in that category on their defense. And the Dolphins are allowing 220 yards passing on their defense. So that's the defense. So we're right there even as far as the ranking is concerned. Almost. We are. Jets are 11th. Miami's 12th, right there. Offense. Here's where we jump ahead. Our offense is first, and everyone knows we're first in a bunch of categories, so I don't need to make mention of all those, but we are first. The Jets are 30th, so they're almost dead last. They're averaging 270 yards a game, where Miami continues to average over 400 yards a game, 434. And you just mentioned, Rob, that how many yards did we average against Raiders this week?
Well, we had 422 yards of offense.
422. So
not enough points because of red zone meltdowns, which we're normally good in the red zone. So I'm not hitting the panic button, like I said. And then you got to clean up the turnover bug. 2 fumbles and an interception from the team. So you got to clean that stuff up. But yes, anyway, go on. But yeah, so the yards are there. We just need to get the points up again.
Yeah, absolutely. And the turnovers. We need to make corrections on the turnovers. Rushing. They're averaging 99 yards a rush, rushing yards a game. And Miami's averaging 143 points. The Jets offense is averaging 15 points a game. 15 points a game, where Miami is still up there averaging 30 points a game. 30 points a game. Now, Rob and I have talked about this, and all we want is our team to go to the Super Bowl. We don't care how Miami Dolphins win the games, as long as at the end of the game, when you look up at the scoreboard, we have won the game. That's what counts.
Yeah, exactly. And hold on, let me say something real quick to Cap for life.
Sure.
We did sign a practice squad running back today, Cap. I don't know if you're hearing about trying to sign a starter, but they did sign a practice squad running back today. Darrellton Evans, who was a 3rd-round pick for the Tennessee Titans back in 2020, but hasn't played that much. He scored a couple of touchdowns, 1 receiving in his rookie year, 1 rushing touchdown actually this year for Chicago. Darrellton Evans signed to the practice squad. But if you're hearing about starters, then maybe Eric would be right. Picking someone off someone's practice squad, because there's not that many running backs floating around right now.
Yeah, and he makes a good point. Cap for Life makes a good point. Raheem Mostert has been hurt the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's not helping him any that these other running backs are hurt. Achane and Jeff Wilson was hurt at one time. Now Brooks is hurt, and he's not going to be able to carry the whole load, especially with his injury history. And here's another thing, Rob, I wanted to ask you. There is a chance that Achane will play this week. Okay. Right. Would you rather him sit Achane this week and just, let him sit until his knee is
in hindsight,
hurt?
I wish we could have sat him this week. Maybe he wasn't ready, and then this would have been the game to bring him back for. Maybe we brought him back a few days too soon. But yeah. No, I agree. I'm worried, but at the same time, if he's ready, if they deem him ready, they're going to play him. That's how I look at it. But the Dolphins are very cautious, especially since the Tua national news last year when he got hurt and it made the team. They're very cautious this year about bringing players back. So I feel comfortable if they bring him back. They really think he's ready to go. But yeah, I wouldn't mind resting him. And then it's like a mini bye. It's not a bye, but you get a few extra days because we're going to play on Friday. Then it'd be off Saturday, Sunday, and then have extra time to recover instead of just coming back after a Sunday. So maybe this is it. But but Mosert's listed every single week. I don't think there's been 1 week he hasn't been listed on the injury report.
No, and that's my point. That's my point.
And then you got Jeff Wilson, and Ahmed's done now. So
yeah, and that's my point. Is we can't keep handing the ball off to Mostert. Eventually, it's gonna be more wear and tear, and he's not gonna be able to perform at 100%. Look, Alec Ingold isn't performing at 100%. He's in a boot and on his foot every week as well.
Yeah,
and it just I don't know, man. Like I said, in December is coming up here in December. We're starting to play these tough teams now. I mean, all teams are starting to gel now and play better. Teams we thought weren't going to be that good. Look, Denver, they're playing better. Even the Raiders played better. They, for God's sakes, they kept us down to 20 points, right?
Yeah.
So they're playing better. So if you notice, these teams are hitting, they're popping. You know, they're playing a lot with a lot more veracity and
Well, our defense
speed.
our defense is stepping up and doing it.
Our
So
defense
you're
is
right.
doing the same thing. They're doing the
Yeah,
same
so
thing.
our defense is, and now we just need the offense to get out of their little funk they've been in and get moving again. And like I said, because yards are pretty, but points are beautiful. So
Yeah.
you just got to get more points because
Yeah,
points is
that's
what
it.
wins. Points are what wins in the NFL. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's and we got there's two things we got to do. Here are the things I don't care about. I don't care about how many yards Tua's throwing, how many TDs he's throwing. I don't care about how many yards Tyreek is getting. I don't care about how many yards Mostert is getting and how many yards per carry. I don't care about that. Okay? What I care about is limiting the turnovers and scoring points. That's it. That's your winning formula. Because look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can you believe it? With their record, but those guys don't have a high-powered offense or a great defense. But they're winning.
Well, they took it on the chin this past week against the Browns.
This week they did, but they were finding ways to win, is what I'm saying.
They are. They haven't, they got good coaching.
And Miami is too. And Miami is too, Rob. Right? I mean, with all the turnovers and stuff like that, and we've been playing sloppy. We're still 7-3.
Yeah, I just want to welcome Mr. Courtwright. Thank you, Mr. Courtwright, and thank you, Hunter, for throwing some names at the pass. Todd Gurley and Jarvis Landry. Those old names out there. Yeah. Hunter's always in here with some good ones. But yeah, no, you're right, 100% right. As far as I don't care about yards, touchdowns I do care about because
of course
touchdowns turn into points, but turn into winning.
Of course.
So now, if they break some yardage records along the way to winning the division and winning a playoff game, hey, more power to us. It's fun. But if we break every yardage record, but we don't win another playoff game for another year or down on the record of not winning a playoff game, I don't care about those yards. Yes, they were fun to watch. It's fun to watch a team move. But at the end of the day, we all root for this team because we want to see them actually win in advance. Part of it's entertainment, but part of that fun is seeing them win, and we haven't seen that for way too long from the Dolphins on a consistent basis. They've given us
absolutely
football, but it hasn't been consistent. So that's the main thing that we all want. So I don't care about Tyreek getting 2,000 yards. If he gets it en route to the AFC East Championship, fine. If he breaks playoff records en route to the Super Bowl, fine. If he breaks records in the Super Bowl, winning us the trophy, and we're holding up the Lombardi, then yes, then I'm a super happy camper. But all those personal, I appreciate that all these guys, they all have personal goals. It's what helps their personal goals, helps the team reach their team goals. So I appreciate it. But let's not let someone's personal goal come at the detriment to helping the team win. So, and that's what I sometimes wonder if they're trying to get Tyreek to that 2,000, no matter what, that they would just force it to him. Or are we just looking at it that way? And I'm going to, because if Dad Dean was in here, he would point out, or Hooked It Up Joe, one of those two would point out, like, Tua spreads the ball around a lot more than what we think he does. But to me, I know it just seems like he goes through Tyreek an awful lot.
He does.
He does.
He's got almost 100 targets already this year, and it's only the 8th game. So he is.
It's crazy.
But also, I wanted to make mention of Caneswear again. That's a new sponsor to our Fins Talk Sports Network. If you're looking for any kind of new Dolphins gear, visit Caneswear at Miami Fanswear today. They have everything from jersey, helmets, hats, shirts, and much more. And if you live in the Florida area or traveling down for a Dolphins home game, make sure to stop at Caneswear. They're located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. I know exactly where that is. My uncle used to live in Davie, Florida.
And if you go at lunchtime, you can hit Las Spadas, which is a well-known sub place right next to it. So get lunch, get Dolphins gear. And like I always say, it's never a bad time of year to visit Caneswear to get your team's gear and, just ready to cheer for your team. So that's what I say. Make sure you check out Caneswear.
Absolutely. And if you don't live in the South Florida, you live outside Florida, that's okay too, because they do have a website that you can visit. It's www.caneswear.com,
And they
www.caneswear.com.
do got Black Friday specials going on this week. So
Yep, they do have the Black Friday specials going on, and show them some love. Go ahead and get your merchandise through caneswear.com, or if you're in the local area, go there, stop in the shop, tell them Fence Talk Sports Network sent you.
So Steve, before we wrap up tonight, what's
Yeah.
your thoughts? First, your thoughts on is Hard Knocks is cool to have, good for the team, bad for the team, or are you just indifferent? Like it's not going to hurt, it's not going to help, it's just part of the thing. So, what do you think about that?
You asked me this question earlier in
Right when you first
few
got
weeks
news?
back. Yeah, when we first got news of it, and I said I wasn't didn't really I didn't think it would matter either way. But the more and more now that I thought about it and pondered on it, slept on it, whatever you want to say, um, you know what, man? We don't need Hard Knocks, because I saw some tapes. I saw some little trailers of it and stuff.
Yeah, I saw Mike McDaniel's one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it is a little bit of a distraction, especially now going into December. I think it is. I really do. And I'm gonna watch it because it
Yeah.
starts
Oh,
tonight.
I'm going to watch it tonight. Who in the room is going to watch this show tonight? Let us know.
I won't. I probably won't be watching it tonight, but I'll watch the replay. I'll go back and check it out. I've got my grandkids over, and we're going to be doing some stuff. But
Yeah.
I will go back and watch it, of course.
And I'm going to watch it tonight and talk about it on my show tomorrow. So, but yeah,
good.
I've never watched Hard Knocks, believe it or not.
Yeah, I did back in the day. I
know you did. You told me. I've never watched it. I remember the Dolphins were back on it under the Philbin era because I didn't have HBO back in that season. Now it's part of the HOA package. So hey, I have it. I never even watch HBO. I'm going to go find what channel it's on, but I know I have it in my back pocket, so I'm going to go watch it.
Yeah, and this is the way
I do think he's passing on it. And yes, we talked about Ahmed going to the injury reserve at the beginning of the show, Mr. Courtwright. But as always, thank you for giving us updates in case we had missed it. But so Mr. Courtwright's not going to watch it.
Yeah, and if you think about it, even doing a show like this, even doing a small show in this scale, people aren't acting the same as they do when they're not
Oh no, you
on
act
camera.
different.
They act different, and so you're really not seeing. It's like watching a reality show, right?
And believe me, guys, Steve's a real butthead, but here he acts like a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm a
He's
real
not
jerk
that.
when off the cameras.
He's gonna tell me all the things I did wrong when on the backstage. He goes, "Oh, you missed this cue, Mosley." This teasing. He's a great guy, and he's come a long distance friend. So I'm just teasing. But no, you are 100% right. People act different on camera than they do in person.
Yeah.
So, and all of these, because I've seen in my line of work when they do the real life, everyone acts different. And things are staged, and it's all.
Oh, absolutely. But it's entertainment. And I'll be watching it. I'll be the first one to be a hypocrite and watch it. But anyway.
No, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm a hypocrite. I don't want it there, but now that it's gonna be there, I'm gonna watch it without a doubt and see how it goes. Just because it is. If it was any other team, I wouldn't watch it. But being our Miami Dolphins, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, it's just part of the team we love, so it gives us a little sneak peek into their reality, like you said, their fake reality.
Absolutely.
Because they're not going to say the crazy things that they would say in a guy's locker room. That. So, so that's just for sure.
All right, Rob. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and, we're going to have to shut it down now. I hear my grandkids calling me out there. This was another great show, Rob. Appreciate it.
And
always
guys,
enjoyed
it. Can I plug my show one more time?
Absolutely.
Tomorrow morning I will run solo 10 a.m. on Dolphin Thirsty. Find me here. And Friday, you get this great dynamic duel again. 10 a.m. on Dolphins Thursday. We do the Dolphins Jets pregame in the first ever Black Friday game. So please come out and check out Dolphin Thursday on YouTube. We're trying to get to 500. And I say we because I get a few great posts and it's wonderful. So get that channel up to 500 and I greatly appreciate it. You're all teammates, not subscribers. So we're on Dolphin Thursday and the same here on Real Talk, Fins Talk, the Fins Talk Sports Network, and our show is Real Talk, Fins Talk. But thank you, Steve. It's been another great night. And let me get, before you go, get ready for it. Oh, you can have any closeout thoughts, but I want to find our closeout video before we.
Sure, yeah, I do. I have a closeout thought. I think the Miami Dolphins, they definitely need to work on the turnovers. They need to fix that offense. They need to do something different other than just throwing to Tyreek because he has been targeted a lot. Teams have catching on to this. They've got the blueprint. Not all the defensive have the personnel to take care of, the offense to stop the Dolphins offense, but teams do have that blueprint. And so I just want to see some improvement there. Defense, I'm not really worried about it at this point. At least they don't give me reason to be. We're going into MetLife Stadium this week, Black Friday. We're playing the New York Jets. At the beginning of the year, I was a little concerned. I'm not so much concerned going in the game this week. I think we will win the game. I won't give my prediction tonight, but I'll give it on our show Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Dolphin Thursday YouTube channel. But I definitely think we're going to win the game, Rob. How about you?
Yeah, I think we're going to win. And like you earlier, when I thought they had Aaron Rodgers and all of that stuff, I was looking at this game, Black Friday, Aaron Rodgers off a short week, traveling up there on the first ever Black Friday game. Oh, that's going to be a tough one. But with how the season's shaping out, our defense isn't. Even if our offense doesn't, show up again this week, I think they will muster enough points, and our defense will. What we have to avoid, we can't allow special teams touchdown, and we can't give them all. We can't turn the ball over like a pick six or a fumble down and deep in our own territory. Avoid those costly mistakes. If the Dolphins can put on 20 like they did against the Raiders, that should be enough to win this game. I'm not saying they don't have to go out there and get 50 or 70 or 45, some crazy number like that. But if you get into the 20s, you should be able to beat this Jets team with our defense. And they're back up to the backup quarterback, as it's pointed out. So to me, I'm feeling confident about it. But I always worried going into New York because I'm old enough to remember the Marino years where, even though we had Dan Marino in the high, whatever reason, Ken O'Brien and Wesley Welker and those guys, Wesley Walker, they just made us look bad. It would be like 54 to 53 right at the end of the game. So I always have those scares. I remember the MetLife meltdown when we had the huge lead. And, so I still worry about every time we go up to face the Jets. But yes, on paper, we should easily win this game. It should not even be, we should put this game away. He says he has a grandpa that made him a Fin fan. That's going to you, Steve. Hope you and the grandkids can enjoy games together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, Rob. And until next week.
Wait. Mr. Courtwright, I haven't even seen what uniforms are going for the game. So sorry, I can't. Have you, Steve?
I haven't.
They'll probably go white and aqua. Who knows? Something like that. I don't know.
I hope they're in the uniforms that they win in. That's what.
Yeah, that's it. As long as they win, they could wear kitchen table covers out there, or tablecloths out there. But hey, all right, now Steve, now you can start yelling to the camera. I got the closeout video ready.
All right, guys. Until next week, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And remember, Dolphins #1, baby!
Dolphins #1.